gank for Huni, then he can start maybe snowballing and playing around with that mobility. If at any point though Huni dies and he falls behind against Darius, he's going to have an incredibly hard time in that lane.
But again, they're looking at balls and they're saying, you have been the weak link of this team. You are not the focus of this team. We can take this matchup and then take it into these team fights where if we look at the amount of knock-ups, LoL is there, Shockwave is there, we have Gragas coming in. So many ways of chaining that CC and getting the knock-up to the backline, and enough hard engage from Fnatic to say, once you start grouping on the side of C9, we are going to engage. It's not like HQ had no way of starting fights or the mountain on a Rengar trying to engage. That's not going to happen here for Fnatic.
This is going to be really interesting. I want to see how well that top lane matchup goes, because in my mind, it looks so brutal, but Huni can maybe do it here. You guys at home join into the conversation. Hop on Twitter and tell us who will rise by the end of the hashtag C9win or hashtag FNC win to at LOL Esports. We'll be checking in throughout this game to see how that one goes.
One thing we haven't talked about is, yes, Huni can use his E to dash out of the creeps. He can also dash on top of Darius and greatly reduce that damage from that spinning blade.
Well, as we get ourselves onto the rift, here we go. Who's going to be in first place at the end of the day in this group? It's going to be either Cloud9 or Cloud9 and Fnatic together. Otherwise, FNC falls to that tie for second at 1 and 2 in the record here. We move in with Fnatic actually camping a brush.
You see this so often. When they're expecting the other team to invade in on topside jungle to get all these early wards for the lane swap, you just hide. Reignover might be baiting and trying to show, hey, look guys, we're doing just a standard 5-man cover all the way down. I'm all here, I'm all alone.
But this play, we've seen it multiple times already, to the point where if you see the jungle, you can expect that stack almost. So that seems like a very standard play. I haven't seen the blue side mirror this at all at any given point, so it seems only red team wants to do that. LemonNation, confident.
So again, they're only seeing Reignover. They think for now, or at least what Fnatic wants them to think, is just, it's only one guy standing there. They're gonna check smart behind.
That's big. And then, you know, okay, Alistair's not supposed to be there when this kind of invades, so they don't get deeper wards than this.
And now this level 1 for Fnatic somewhat backfired because they didn't get to mirror what C9 just did. There's 0 wards in that jungle because Fnatic were all stuck there trying to set a trap.
It is up to Fnatic right now to at least secure 2 quadrants of their jungle. We've seen HQ fail at this before, where they basically got essentially tree buffed, or the convention, or the similar thing that happens right now, where you just lose so many jungle camps in a matchup and you play behind in tempo.
But look here for C9. Because they're starting in their own jungle on the top side, Fnatic can do the same near their own blue buff here. So no invades yet, but sneak and elimination, they're moving in. Fnatic are going to do the same on top side.
These guys get spotted by a ward, but it looks like it's going to be enough to force Gragas and Yasuo to run away. So LemonNation just being a little bit aggressive makes it a bit of a slow start.
So important thing about this ward is it means Fnatic could move away from blue buff and then try and sneak the wolf camp without being stopped. C9 though are going to check it. They see it happen. Fnatic gets that one and then back away. Same thing happening for C9 though. Completely mirrored with the two teams.
And YellowStar going to be harassing what he can. Hopefully they don't give him the ability to steal. That's not going to happen here. Ball's going to get level 2 off this.
Difference though is C9 is getting 2 camps at that side and got zone off the blue buff. They may return. Fnatic had to only do 1 camp and move away, so C9 get potentially more experience if they can continuously keep on farming.
And of course both teams ending with 4 members on the strong side of the map for them, where the AD carries are standing as well. Fast push happening on top side. Should expect exactly the same for C9 on the bottom side. And then, look here, they have already sent back balls and LemonNation. They do this very, very often. 2 guys going to the vent, but the problem is, 2 guys is not enough. 4 members can easily dive 2, or even just zone them off the tower. You see, Fnatic is already moving down with 3 guys, and Reignover is coming, so this should not work for C9.
Yeah, and just like yesterday, when Lee Sin, or when Hai's on the other side of the map, that's when Balls needs him in the top lane. Again, he's not there to defend, and they will get zoned off.
Very, very lazy almost lane swap for C9 in the sense you just send 2 guys late, first of all, and then your junglers on the opposite side. Right now, Huni could technically TP down to the bottom side and just take up that entire wave, but he's a little bit afraid of where Hai might be in Lee Sin. And he probably also wants to stay on his top side and get the tower gold and then bounce the wave back.
Alright, looks like Sneaky's going to be solo pushing this turret down. Did get it down to half, and even still on both these waves right now, just to keep track and do some bookkeeping. All the waves are getting lost, but this will be the first turret kill very easily.
Yeah, we've seen similar things play out over in Europe when Giants, for example, would try to defend against this European lane style, even with 3 members, and very often they would get zoned off and lose so much. So right now, Fnatic Playing it out perfect. Bounce again here for Huni, so the wave will freeze. He won't be zone of experience, and he can do with that wave whatever he wants.
And a key thing is that Rekkles, if you notice, he stays close enough to get gold, so he gets enough for a pickaxe when he goes back. The difference normally would be you give all to the AD carry, all to your top laner, and your AD carry only gets the average blade, and he's a lot weaker then compared to now with the pickaxe. Sneaky though, as always, gets solo experience and farm in these lane swaps, so he's going to be stronger than a level 2 Sivir, and C9 has to use it.
And this is the funny thing though, is this is one thing that Cloud9 is so good at, is their actual pre-match, like 1v0 preparation. They've essentially timed how long it takes Fnatic to kill this, and they were able to solo push, but LemonNation already on the wrong spot here. YellowStar and Huni both going for the fight, then Naga comes through, and a level 1 Morgana forced to flash away. Maybe they didn't quite expect that, but Tristana is far ahead of the Sivir when that matchup finally does play out.
Oh, they're going for Rekkles down bottom lane.
Spell shield used on the rocket jump. TP in for balls, and Rekkles has basically nowhere to go. Somebody he'll pop, but Sneaky's gonna be fine. He gets away from the pole, has to flash to deal damage, and Rekkles gets out. Huni TP's in, and he's on the chase. He's got the knockup available.
LemonNation still running around, trying to execute.
Oh, the flash! Febiven's gonna get it! First blood goes to Febiven from Fnatic.
And what a big misplay by Balls. That apprehend has to stick. You can even flash first to guarantee that you landed. C9 could have had a first blood, but instead they get turned around. Rekkles lift, that's a kill difference again. And they drop first blood here. High.
Rekkles though needs to know that more people can be on the bottom side, because we haven't seen High yet so far in this match. He only showed very, very quickly and then walked back into the jungle and hit himself.
And that was good by High. He dropped that ward knowing the AD carry may go pathing into the lane. Balls teleported, but the play backfired due to poor execution.
The Balls gets a freeze now. Based on how everything that happened, that we've now got a lane freeze set up for this top laner, he can immediately catch up with Huni's money. And with the fact that Rekkles had to go back to base and has to hide, he's getting behind.
But very important for both teams. First of all, you just said it. Balls, he gets the big wave here. He catches up then. Rekkles is also getting some minions on the bottom side, but he's sharing it with YellowStar, so he's still going to be behind in experience. And overall, C9, as long as Balls can get this entire wave, which he's sitting with now, should have an experience advantage after the lane swap.
It's actually very interesting to see, because if that initial screw up didn't happen, C9 could have been vastly ahead of Fnatic here.
Yeah. Not for LemonNation dying. The 400 gold first blood, no assists, so 400 gold worth there. You can see Fnatic up 300 right now in this game. 3-2 based on how that all goes, but this got pushed in. Sneaky was able to back for a BF sword, so he's got an item lead over that Sivir.
Remember though, the time it cost Febiven to path all the way to the top to chase LemonNation, he also used his flash, so he invested a lot into that kill, so overall it wasn't that bad of a trade if you look at the big picture.
Really the only difference I would like to see in the C9 lane swap, now that they do favor the farming experience on Sneakies, just keep Balls to 2v2 jungle a bit longer with High. Because there's no reason for him to walk into that top lane and just get zoned off. But again, it works because he gets so far ahead. Let's see what happens here though. Reignover is coming in.
Goes to the pull under the turret, gonna get knocked up there, but the slows come through. Huni takes a bit of damage, but Balls can't ult. He doesn't have enough. The kill comes through to Huni. Assist for Reignover.
Reignover coming in first, hits the minion, but it was still enough to get the kill. No flash for Balls, and High now looking to fight.
Pretty aggressive. Huni's gonna have knock up in 2 more Qs. Fighting over the Gromp. Smite is up for Reignover. Easy pickup. Level 5 now. Reignover out-leveling High in this one.
Big turnarounds happening here. We see so many small things with TP down behind someone if he overextends. LemonNation got chased around, and now here the 1v2 against Balls with no flash was enough to give another kill for Fnatic.
Cloud9 keep this up though. They may be about to do their signature move. They just pushed in bottom. Febiven has to base in the mid lane. This could be a little bit of damage on that mid lane tower.
We've crossed 7 minutes, so that debuff that reduces all your attack damage has dropped down. Sneaky's got level 3 explosive charge. This could be some real damage.
If they know he's in base, this could be a good push.
We need to see YellowStar also leave this bottom lane. He's sitting and holding hands with Rekkles against nothing really, because it's just big waves being pushed against each other. So now he's rotating extremely late compared to LemonNation, and he's not here to assist Febiven before now.
Well, gets it down to half, but the wave clear is good enough. Febiven gets back in the lane. All is well.
This is something we've seen Cloud9 do every single game so far. Push up bot with Sneaky in a push and experience advantage, rotate mid, find an opening, whether there's no wave clear there, the wave clear is in base, and somehow they managed to do it again, even against a team that generally prepares so well for their opponents.
And I almost think C9 is happy that teams ban Veigar and not the Azir for Incarnation, because when you play Azir with this Nash's Tooth build, the way you can instant shove waves in the early game so quickly means this rotation is even more effective with Tristana, and they keep using it now.
Falls at 6, Huni's only 5. There's going to be so much damage available. The Q lands on the blade! That's the easy kill. Dunk not required. First kill of the game for Cloud9.
Yeah, your wind wall means nothing here at all. Maybe a Sonic Wave, but so much damage on Balls. And somehow, even though we keep talking about how he gets put behind, that massive freeze that we pointed out earlier, that propelled Balls forward, and then a good gank from high.
That was what Cloud9 was famous for back in Season 3 when Meteos and Balls played together. Balls would always find a way to push the wave on level 6, have the momentary XP advantage, and dive the turret with the jungler. Textbook, Reignover didn't see it coming.
And more importantly, how is Huni going to continue playing? Yesterday, when he made a mistake, he tried to make up for it too quickly and kept on adding to the mistake pile. Instant teleport to match it out. Now he's down 20 CS. Gotta keep our eyes on him, and especially the player cam too, if he's gonna be emotionally affected by these plays.
And we just keep seeing the same move for C9. Incarnation instantly push out the wave. Sneaky walks in because he already pushed the bottom side. Now he has to go down and catch the wave, but he's still fine because he keeps slowly chipping away on the mid tower. And it's how this siege composition always gets rolling. And then add in the fact that now Balls is winning. It's just making it even better for C9 compared to the 2 other games we have seen.
You know what's funny though is they've cashed in all of Sneaky's CS lead. He was up roughly double for Rekkles, but with all those trips back down to mid lane, Rekkles is completely caught up on this Sivir now, and it's a threat again.
I will be happy to trade CS for taking down these towers though, because again, Rekkles catching up means he didn't do anything other than just farm minions. Sneaky's always applying pressure on the towers.
More importantly, if you look at the efficiency of the build path, having to invest early in Boots 2 with a pickaxe as opposed to Sneaky, who can now add up more damage. He doesn't need mobility, he just needs to get into that mid lane and whack away on that tower with just very high AD. Right now, Reignover.
Pull in, the dunk comes through and Balls gets it. He's got the Noxian Might. If he can reach Huni, it's an easy kill. High gets the kick flash. The dunk comes through, a double kill for Balls.
So Fnatic is falling behind on the top side of the map, and yet they were looking to make a play. Huni's only level 6 right now. These components for him towards the static shift doesn't make him very strong. Getting a static shift though is a big power spike, but before he has that, you don't really want to take any fights when you're already falling behind. Greedy play from Fnatic on the top side. C9 responds perfectly.
YellowStar places the pink. C9 is aware of it, but good kick as well from high. Kick flash into the dunk. That was a beautiful combo overall, and that is just has to give you so much confidence in his game as well. C9, they're heading gold, but more importantly, they're heading map pressure. Let's watch it again. Reignover actually goes into contest to grunt, but uses his gap closer doing so.
And again, LemonNation is here, ready to join the fight. YellowStar is trying, but he's on the other side. And look here, so first kill comes in. What High does is also super smart because he knows he's very low, so in case Huni gets off his ulti, but then he just flashes, kicks him back, and he's not in any danger.
And so greedy. Reignover could have flashed that binding. He saw it coming, but he thought he could live. He also decided to use his gap closer aggressively. So Fnatic simply not respecting C9. Now Febiven's getting jumped on in mid. He's zoned out.
Black shield. Yeah, shield's gonna be fine. Not a lot of damage taken on either side on this. Billy gets pushed out.
You just gotta be careful though next to that ball.
Good shockwave, down to 500 health. Summoner heal forced out of this.
Doesn't care about your ball. Shoot you in the face.
He's got 2 on his team.
They got good walls around it as well for C9 on the bottom side. So, sorry, for Fnatic on the bottom side, C9 take more on the top side for them. But they don't really care about this vision coming in for Fnatic at the moment because they're just moving so easily between the lanes. It should be very predictable because whenever C9 is pushed out the bottom side and Sneaky goes missing, well, he's obviously running mid to push the tower. So that vision for Fnatic right now, they haven't really been able to use it. And it's just Febiven sitting, trying his best to wave clear, while Rekkles is constantly sitting in a side lane, catching up, or trying to catch up at least.
Right now it's an 800 gold game. C9's lead, turrets equivalent. Dragons none taken, 1 kill up.
What I do like about this game is that we haven't really seen an early dragon because it puts you so far behind in lane swap situations. They rather trade the potential time that it took them to do dragon to hit towers and then create map pressure, open up the map, then get the vision, and then easily pick up. This is about the time they can actually start looking to pretty much gate a free dragon.
Hey, we just talked about how Yasuo needs that static shift as the first big spike for him. It is completed for Huni, and instantly Fnatic is saying, okay guys, we have fallen behind on the map. Our mid tower is slowly but surely going down. We might need to force a fight and get this Yasuo into the backline to get him back in the game.
C9 can even just trade though. Dragon for mid tower here, even though it's already low, it could be a favorable trade. They could leave Balls in the top lane and get teleport advantage, but they opt to fight.
Well, this is gonna be a bit tricky.
Well, Fnatic is on the wrong side right now, so if C9 just stays mid, they will get the tower for free, and there's nothing Fnatic can do. So they're getting the both of both worlds, honestly, here. They stop the dragon, get the tower, and again, Fnatic is not getting the fight. Huni is just so far behind.
This should be their dragon now. With that mid turret up, they have perennial control over this lane.
Yeah.
They get ahead in terms of pressure though. They do have teleport advantage. So Fnatic have been known for having fantastic teleports earlier in the season when they were just playing smarter, quicker, and better than the other teams. But right now, C9 seem to have their number.
1700 gold lead, 2 turrets to 1, 1 dragon to 0. Cloud9 got to have their cake and eat it too. Mid got pushed and they got that dragon. As you mentioned, they did cash in the summoner teleport from Ball. So, yeah, if I could teleport for a turret and a dragon, I'd hit that on cooldown.
Every single time. They're already down towards the bottom side. That's always the beautiful thing about Tristana Azir. They're never really going to stop pushing your towers. They're just going to look for the next one. And they're going for it. The wave is Rekkles at the moment. Febiven is stuck in mid lane because C9 is always pushing minions faster.
All 5 are here, and this reinforcements are slowly walking in. Huni is still pushing the top lane out, but bot lane tier 2 will already fall out of this one.
Yesterday, C9 played Azir Tristana and Balls was behind on his top lane champion, and he kind of didn't do much in the early game, but still worked later in the game. Now Balls is actually ahead, so these should be some very destructive team fights. Cloud9 later on, especially once we start approaching Baron timing, those baits will be punished very, very hard.
There's a small benefit here for C9 after that bottom lane tier 2 turret goes down. Their outer is still up, which means C9 can actually push the wave even farther and often reduce the chance for Rekkles to actually kill the outer turret as a trade for something else. C9's ability to push top lane with their AD carry is actually here.
We're only 15 minutes in. They've already taken out 3 towers. Top lane tier 1 is still alive. And Fnatic has barely been able to do anything in a response because they're always just trying to catch up. Keep highlighting how fast C9 can push their waves and then rotate before Fnatic can even react. And unless we see that hard engage 5 versus 5, Fnatic won't be able to stop this push from happening.
C9 are punishing Fnatic here for opting so much power into the team fight. Just picking that Sivir early, just picking it for the team, really hasn't done anything in this matchup. Sacrifice some farm to get Huni ahead. Huni then misplayed, got caught. And how does Fnatic really answer this? They need to force a favorable team fight with a good shockwave somewhere, but I don't think C9 will let that happen.
I think you have to sacrifice your top tower and just hard engage in these 3 guys down the bottom side with teleport.
TP advantage.
And just try and get that fight and the tower. He's TPing in now behind them, so they're going for it.
Flash engage comes in, Black Shield onto Sneaky. High can disengage someone with the kick, flashes in, and binds on different people. High's the first kill though, goes to Rekkles. Huni's on the chase, Sneaky has to flash away. A 1-for-0 so far for Fnatic. Top lane outer should be going down, but the flash engage, holy cow! Huni gets it by himself!
And that was the play to make for Fnatic because you're just slowly losing, but you had that TP advantage you guys highlighted earlier. Yes, the tower will go down, but you get the bot tower as well, and 2 kills. YellowStar, though, for some reason, just died.
In the wrong spot, didn't pop his ulti.
Again, this is similar to yesterday. C9 was making a losing play, but then somehow Incarnation shows up and gets 2 kills. Right now, he's zoning up 3 members, keeping 4 of them busy. Balls is walking away at the top tower.
Well, Lemon walks in and gets himself killed on this one. 4 assists. Well, assist and kill him for his 3 assists. There we go.
But every death from LemonNation so far has bought so much time that Cloud9 can use and invest mostly into tower pushes. They don't care about dying if it buys them time to get this tower. And Balls is going to pick it up.
Cloud9 actually able to use Balls as a battering ram here. A good matchup. I'm still a little curious that Huni picked into it, but C9 also setting up that laner has gone well.
So again, it is the correct play to pull here. The Black Shield and Sneak, and Huni's not here just yet to jump on any target. So right now, C9 is just buying so much time for Balls and for Incarnation to move down from this mid lane. In the end, Fnatic invest more than they wanted to get these kills.
Actually, I think Huni going back into creeps, Sneaky thought he didn't have any flash. That's why he re-approached, because otherwise he would have assumed Huni would have already flashed on him. Huni actually did have flash and surprised Sneaky there. Good move by him. A little greedy on Sneaky's side, but overall, we can always see how much value that Black Shield is going to bring later into the fights. Once Sneaky picks up 2-3 items, gets more mobility, he's going to be very hard to catch.
And you saw even his reflexes were good enough to buffer Rocket Jump against the body slam flash as well. He was even able to get away from most of it himself.
Yeah, because that Black Shield was late.
Yep.
And luckily for him, it didn't get absorbed by the body slam, and then Yasuo Q couldn't proc it.
Yeah, I think Fnatic went a little bit too early, honestly, because Huni was running from that ward at the red buff, and he was trying to get in range, but just wasn't there when the engage happened. I didn't see if the minions were dying for Fnatic, and it was kind of like the last call to go in, but just a little bit too early. They get the kills, they get a tower, but of course, because C9 could take 2 up on the top side, they're still going to be okay.
Definitely need to keep our eyes on YellowStar too. He's usually the one to at least make a good play and engage, but so far hasn't really showed up on that Alistar. See if he can finally get a flank somewhere and set up Huni for that combo.
Around this mid lane though, C9 for the last 5-6 minutes have had full control when it comes to the vision. A lot of defensive pink wards always being invested from them. They respect what Reignover and YellowStar can do when it comes to roaming into the enemy jungle, take control and set up some of these dives here. And it's very smart when you have the TP disadvantage. If you just try and keep them out of your jungle, don't give a good teleport location for Huni. He found one though, but still he had to run quite far around and it was enough time for C9 to respond to that.
And well, ward's going to be important then, and as we get ourselves into this dragon, 38 seconds away. Balls has TP, Huni does not. Problem is, not many turrets to kill, it's only mid lane tier 2.
Yeah, this time there's no cross-map objectives really for that dragon, unless you count Baron Vision as one of them, so you may actually see a fight.
Both these teams are known to take Baron instead of a dragon. Right at 20 minutes, the European and North American LCS, the most common to have early Barons in.
I'm just looking at the confidence from Incarnation on this Azir. Always just standing there, poking away in Fnatic. He was stopping the recalls before. He's been pushing his lane 24/7. Not really been afraid of anything. And whenever he can perform like this, it opens up for Sneaky then to become that tower-killing monster and really give the goal lead to C9. Teamfight will break out here. Darius is running down as well from the top side. And YellowStar is setting up for a flank.
Let's see if it comes in here. We've got the team skirting around. 800 health left on Dragon. Easily picked up for Reignover. High will not find his way in just yet. The YellowStar's low, but he's on Alistar, so who cares about this one? Mid lane is under control for C9 if they want it. They're going to fight over blue buff for a second.
Might find into choke point here. Look for the Orianna shockwave coming in.
Oh, balls is low. Knock up on the one. They're going to go right for the Darius. Has to flash away. The knockback still coming through. Rekkles gets a nice crit. And the bounce comes through, but now mid lane, again, is here for Cloud9 first. The team is still coming around. Huni does not have ultimate. That is an important cooldown miss, but Shockwave is up, as is YellowStar's.
And again, we see the value of that Black Shield YellowStar flank got completely negated, and then he didn't chain combo Balls down there. Balls could have and would, or should have died rather, in that combo, but he managed to flash out in between the knockups. So, slightly misplay there from Fnatic. And again, they left their mid lane open.
Yeah, like their positioning for C9 after Dragon went down, said, you know what, we're just gonna zone you to the right side then so you can quickly get back and defend your tower and at least get some damage on it, but not risking going into a straight up 5 versus 5 team fight, which is exactly what Fnatic wants. So they keep us avoiding the thing Fnatic wants the most.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of zone control really on that Fnatic lineup. You have Sivir who can relatively tend to herself in these team fights, walk forward, backwards with a lot of mobility. Then you add Orianna ball to that equation, and if you add a wind ball well placed in a choke point, it becomes incredibly hard for C9 members to follow up on a lot of damage. So we saw that's what Balls tried to do there, force his way in, but he just immediately got knocked up, and the rest of C9 had to disengage.
It's an interesting item choice here by LemonNation. I usually like a lot of his item builds. I think he's one of the more unique supports in the world. But I personally don't really like Frostqueen's Flame, especially when you're matching up against the Sivir. I feel like matching the movement speed, getting Talisman of Ascension, and allowing your team to match that strength would be pretty valuable here.
The gold you put into that item for no real defensive combat stats, you may as well have invested it into a Zeke's and just buffed up Sneaky.
It is something we have seen a long time ago though against these Sivir compositions. So when she speeds up the team and runs at you, trying to slow them down. But definitely agree with you. It seems to be the thought process behind it. Huni though, he's not really gonna enjoy this
Gets the knock up Hop Seal. He's gonna get a shield back down. That's gonna be enough to kill him.
Oh,
flash!
flashed it.
Gets him out in time. It's still a flash down. Can you really call it an outplay? Huni's missing a lot.
Please, you can kill it. Not if it has flash. Really close. I was so close to actually finishing the animation, and Huni's even wasting a flash at the end there.
And again, we so often see it's the other top laner who wins that one-on-one against Balls, but he's having a great game, honestly, on this Darius. He's winning those fights against Huni. That wasn't even close. I mean, he was so far ahead of him. And Huni even going for Trinity Force, so he's going to delay Infinity Edge. If you want to be a little bit more, if you want to be a little bit stronger in the one-on-one, but he's so far behind, he's not going to get that in time.
C9 now have 4 pink wards on the map, Fnatic none. And that actually tells a vision story entirely. Fnatic struggling to even get vision on Baron.
Literally 2 wards.
Three lone ward around the Baronet is keeping them safe. And once C9 figures out what ward Fnatic is reacting to, because you always change your behavior once you get spotted by a ward, then they can sweep it, or it will simply expire in about 50 seconds. Then Fnatic are going to be in trouble.
C9 can also just wait for Balls to take another fight against Huni, and then once he's down to barely any HP, or maybe even dead, you can then go for that play around the Baron, and Balls can always TP in for himself, and you have a small advantage. A few seconds always matters quite a lot in these fights.
There's a small item lead right here. If Sneaky backs, he has Static Shiv, and Rekkles cannot, but right now they're playing around the Baron bait instead. They look to find YellowStar. The knockback is there. He will get himself on the other side, but it's still 1,000 health left on YellowStar. High forced to run. Huni cancels the teleport, but the rest of Fnatic get out. However, that is a TP down. Balls in the exact same scenario.
Huni has to run now from the bottom lane, and there's no ulti for YellowStar, so he's basically out of this fight. Maybe sacrifices himself for a knock-up to get Huni going in.
But he can land the knock-up though, and the thing is there's no ult left for Incarnation. It's gonna be onto this one. Binding hits on one. Reignover's close by. He's gonna try to get this one. The kick comes through. Shockwave onto a few, and down goes the big members. But Incarnation took the Baron. Rekkles on the chase though, picking up a lot. Only one survivor. It's LemonNation.
Is he gonna buy more time?
I mean, it's a 1v4. He's gonna die.
Ace for Fnatic!
Even though there was the Baron, that is better for the European squad. And here they go.
C9, you're running this siege composition. You're not looking for these fights where you're stuck in a Baron pit. We saw the engage come in, Shockwave, Reignover as well, and suddenly it sets up Huni. And C9 are just stuck there. They cannot kite with the composition suddenly because they're at the Baron, and that was not the play they were looking for.
Yeah, the initial play was fantastic. Bait and try to punish the support. Luckily for Fnatic, that support was LoL didn't drop, and they got some vision into that pit. And more importantly, C9, they fought without Emperor's Divide. They fought without one of their most important ultimates, and then they bunched up, they clumped up, making it for a very easy Shockwave, very easy combo. Huni, he was definitely in time because C9, they hesitated. They walked back from Baron and went back, and that may have been their downfall.
And this really shoots Huni back in the game. He's sitting on like 2,500 gold from himself. Let's see it again. You have this siege composition. You want to kite back, but you're stuck in the Baron pit. Sneaky especially. Shockwave pulls him back in.
That was a fantastic.
Everyone dropped. Febiven, we so rarely talk about him, but every single game he plays, he's just consistently so good, and he's always that backbone for Fnatic.
Even him walking into the bind there was exactly what was necessary because C9 didn't have the time or just the audacity to turn and focus him because he would not drop there. Then his ball was perfectly placed for that Shockwave, even denying the rocket jump from Tristana there, and he really carried that fight. Huni came in the end. All he had to do was press hard to pick up a couple kills, but Fnatic pulling the trigger.
And he gets the Trinity Force now for himself. What I did like about it for him is he never really had 1,550 gold to go back and use, so he had this cheaper components of the Trinity Force. It is ready. Another fight is going to break out though. Black Shield's down now.
They break the Black Shield. Yes, they do. And off on the side is high. He's taking so much damage. Ball's low as well. Team's disengaging back and forth, but Huni gets the knock, but he kills off one. He kills off two. Fnatic completely in control here of a 1,000 gold lead. They grow it to 2, and they grow for Dragon number 2.
Huni Houdini makes LemonNation, and Balls disappear instantly. So far behind in the early game, but this time Fnatic can get him back into the game, and now we can start carrying.
And he's going to keep carrying. 5-2 and 5. Everything's going well now for Fnatic. That one bad Baron call opened the game back up, and Fnatic said thank you very much, kicked the door down, and now they're setting up shop.
C9 even had that mid tower they could have gone for instead. Like, it wasn't like there was nothing else to do on the map than go Baron before. We're gonna see another fight though. Elimination with Black Shield onto Bolt, but not really the right target.
Yeah, you can't Black Shield. Yeah, even though you prevent the combo, Bolt is gonna drop. Bolt should have instantly flashed out. Look where Sneaky is. In a lot of winning fights for Cloud9, Sneaky is always positioning at the edge, continuously dealing damage. This time he is zoned. He didn't hit a single target in that fight, so overall, C9, they were not on the same page.
With this build here from Huni, again, as we just highlighted before, some of the cheaper components, so he kept being okay, at least, even though he was behind. Now he got that massive boost from some of the kills we've seen the last few minutes, so he's really getting towards his late game, where of course this Yasuo is going to be absolutely insane. And the same we can say for Febiven. Just sitting in that mid lane, going even at first with Incarnation and Farm, but the shockwaves in the team fights, they're going to be key in the future for Fnatic, and he's obviously already sitting on 3 items as well.
Yeah, both these mid laners actually scale fantastically. Two of the best scaling mid laners in the game, in my opinion. So going late game, it is still anybody's game because later on Azir can turn and fight around, but the same way Orianna can.
And being 2 of the best mid lane players here at the World Championships so far, both Incarnation and Febiven had great games all across the board.
Oh, dear Lord. LemonNation Black shields himself to survive, but he's gone, just out of range. 2 ults popped.
Barely made it out of that one.
Barely. Oof. Fight was explosive. All right, well, Fnatic get turret number 5. They've equalized this score for themselves. By all rights, this team is now winning here. And again, it is a 3-threat composition. They've got very big tanks in the front line of full tank Gragas plus an Alistar. C9 can't hope to compete with that.
Yeah, this is the style we're used to seeing from Fnatic. Triple threat consistently, similar to Origin, both European teams here. Really like playing that style, having a disengage or at least appealing support on YellowStar. Very often favors Alistar. Used to play some Janna too, just to keep people alive there. does have some weaknesses if it falls behind too early, but there's always a comeback potential, especially with Baron, because it's so valuable for all these carries.
Well, baited all of C9 in, and Fnatic felt good about this one. So 4,000 gold now puts Fnatic squarely in the lead as we crest 30 minutes into this one. A Righteous Glory now done on YellowStar plus Distortion Boots, so a lot of flash combos, a lot of engage potential here for Fnatic. Of course, many of these members can set up for Huni's ultimates.
And that's where these siege compositions really start falling apart, when they can never get to groups safely because there now are so many ways for Fnatic to start the fight. C9 then has to opt into basically what's gonna have to be the perfect team fight for them. The Black Shield for LemonNation has to be either Sneaky or Incarnation, whoever gets comboed from Fnatic, but there's enough AoE explosions to hit both of them.
Especially later on in the game, these fights don't happen that very often, so everybody has flash reveal, and on Fnatic's side that means flash combo, flash body slam, Huni carry over the knockup with his flash too, so many dashes and just flashes that C9 has to worry for, and they only have one Black Shield.
And of course C9 knows it's going to be all about team fights, so I quite like that Balls in this game went for Randuin's Omen instead of the Dead Man's Plate, because you want that reduced damage on the crit, obviously reduced attack speed as well for both the Yasuo and for the Sivir. So at least he's also building just to be a frontline tank right now. The problem is just that Fnatic is always going to look to get to the backline instead of him.
Oh, High gets Black Shield, finds Febiven, kicks a couple guys back, but he only gets YellowStar the farthest. There's the knockup, there's the explosive cast, but no follow-up yet for Huni. They chase down the support, there's the only find the pop. Incarnation goes in, he knocks back Huni. He's got a flash over the wall, Balls can't quite reach
Rekkles
it,
not
but
here.
they're still looking for Febiven. Rekkles is pushing the base on the top side of the map. Fnatic disengage the 4v5, and they're killing the base. Huni's in already, that's at least an inhibitor.
C9, they saw that Rekkles were pushing, they thought to themselves, we can get a 5 versus 4 team fight. High went in, but I think he kicked back YellowStar, and they simply couldn't lock down the rest of the members.
Yeah, there was no way to produce those resets that Sneaky needed to clean up this fight and potentially then later on trade inhibitors right now. Yeah, High goes in, yes, but he selects two out of the squishy, like two of the non-squishy members of Fnatic. They have 3 threats, but they have 2 tanks, and those 2 tanks were peeling in the front. Nobody was threatening Febiven, even though he was out of mana at all. They walk backwards, teleport top, take a free inhibitor, and now Fnatic can easily control the game.
Let's see, Baron has spawned, and C9 is already here trying to clear away the vision from Fnatic, but they spotted at the same time, so they're gonna be here ready to fight. Not a lot of flashes though on their
Huni
side.
has a flank though, look at the top left.
Damage, 3,000 health, here comes the team, massive knockup, oh dear lord! That's gonna be brutal, blue team does pick up the Baron, the kills are trading, Balls does so much damage, a spell shield from Rekkles, he gets crit, here goes Sneaky, the ult is but Incarnation gets it, 2 deaths versus 3, Cloud9 come out ahead.
That was a fantastic combo, going in, shooting his enemy into his mid lane to produce a reset to then get out of fight. That was an incredibly ballsy play.
Holy cow, and Huni never got to ult in that one, I believe. He wasn't there quite in time to make the whole combo work.
But again for C9, they know when they're fighting in this Baron pit how difficult it is for them. Huni flies in, but exhaust is onto him, and I'm not even sure who he's ulting. I think it might be LemonNation. So there's not enough damage on the correct targets. And in the end, Balls gets that first ulti off, he gets the second one. Sneaky knows, okay, I need to get Rekkles down or at least close to someone else. Incarnation says, thank you very much, picks up that kill.
What actually happened there, Huni pulled the trigger too early. YellowStar W also procs a potential knockup target for the Yasuo ultimate, but later on you obviously want to chain the ulti on a triple Q. That's what YellowStar was looking for. He eventually knocked up multiple people, but Huni procced it too early on the W already, and that actually meant that he only got the support and later on just didn't do any damage.
One small thing about the mechanics is that ultimate is it does give you a small grace period to get additional targets, actually. I didn't watch closely enough to see if that happened there, but there is, sometimes you can get multiple even if you ult early.
I really just want to highlight, with these two teams, the calls that are being made in this game, how insanely hard they are to pull off when you're sitting in the heat of the moment, where Rekkles is pushing down on the, at the top side, and Fnatic is saying, you know what, we can buy time for you, and C9 is saying, you know, we can engage, we can look for that pick, and now after, C9 rushing to that Baron saying, this is the call we need to make to get back in the game. And there's so many insane calls, and they're so risky, a lot of them, but they're working so far at least.
And it also tells you that shot calling just trumps individual play. A lot of these teams coming into Worlds with very highly mechanically gifted players, proficient, you know, in terms of ranking, solo queue, so skilled at the raw elements of the game, but then they fall apart when it comes to macro play. And C9, they've shown before what they can do on the map. YellowStar now leading Fnatic through some really good rotations, getting an inhibitor right there, almost stealing that Baron too.
Infinity Edge now done for Huni, so now all that's left to do is build tanky to keep this man alive. Of course, on the other side, if you kind of start counting hard carries, LemonNation finally has a Zeke's Harbinger done. Problem is, this Morgana is dying very quickly, and she can't buff Tristana very much if she's dead, so that is one thing to actually be a bit concerned about, is LemonNation's 5 deaths is a worrying trend for C9.
Yeah, it does put Sneaky on 90% crit in these fights. That is
If he gets it.
If he gets it, which he can get easily. Zeke's Harbinger actually allows you to focus frontline for a little while. Once you engage, you can jump in aggressively because there's not a single person, maybe Febiven, that can actually outrate you once you jump in with that 90% crit.
Gonna be something to watch then if Sneaky can have the auto attack uptime to kill whatever he wants. Blue Elixir picked up for LemonNation, so he's gonna have some more damage in team fights. And a little bit of ability power for the Black Shield. Bottom lane is the target here, even though Cloud9 is a team that had killed the Baron off. They're still the defensive ones here.
Also, a lot of winning fights for Fnatic did come from flanks, and as C9 pulls back into their base, it's incredibly hard for Fnatic to make that happen. That could be something they have to look out for, that they don't over-engage, because it's incredibly easy to play Morgana when all the enemies are in front of you. It makes Black Shield life a lot easier compared to having to watch multiple flanks, potential flash scenarios, just add so many variables to the equation.
Still have to highlight though with this build from LemonNation, it requires him to sit very far back to stay alive. You mentioned yourself just before here how he cannot be in the front because he needs to buff up Sneaky. So their team fighting power of Morgana, when she can go in with her ulti and hit multiple guys, goes really far down, and he just becomes basically this Black Shield bot onto Sneaky. With his positioning so far, it's not been working because he has been caught out so many times. And Fnatic honestly look for him as well because the Black Shield always goes on to one of the carries. So you aim instead for the Lee Sin, you aim maybe for the Morgana and take them down first.
One Black Shield every 9 seconds. Black Shield can last up to 5 seconds, so that Black Shield buff could be very efficient for C9 here.
Yeah, good coding on that Black Shield bot. We'll see if it holds up. Maybe Fnatic can decompile LemonNation and it gets a lot worse. Right now, Cloud9 trying to hold equal. Still a 4,000 gold difference. Means less over time, but we're still at a tricky part of this game.
And there is an open inhibitor now Fnatic can go towards and take that 5-on-5 teamfight around it. Don't have to deal with the towers, but of course you always have to respect the fact that, first of all, running back to the fountain and healing back up means you can rejoin a fight. And also with these turrets near the nexus around it, it becomes very difficult to over-chase, which, funny enough, is what Fnatic's composition likes to do. Jump into that backline, get very deep inside the enemy base, and that can be tricky. So C9 should be able to hold this defense for 2 more minutes, and Fnatic might just say, guys, let's wait for Baron, let's play a little bit safe, and then we can maybe bait a fight around that area.
As impressive as the out rotation was for that inhibitor up top, they didn't really get too much value out of it. A couple outer towers fell that could have fallen otherwise too. The game is pretty even right now. I think have a mild goal lead, but a good map move can negate that immediately.
Cloud9 known for good map moves, but Fnatic have made plenty of good choices themselves in this game, still sitting 14-8 in kills in favor of the Europeans.
Hey, Huni's basing, he may be looking for a teleport. If he picks up home guards, he could use one of those faraway wards to flank potentially. Decides not to base, sticks bot.
Fnatic doesn't want that very predictable engage, so he needs to probably sneak behind. Again though, for Fnatic, you can just wait for that Baron. Clear that area because it's 2 dragons to 2, so there's no 5 dragons happening in this game here. That's too far out.
No vision, he hasn't been spotted yet. No pings have gone on him.
2 pink wards on the side of Fnatic around this Baron. Or 2 in the inventory.
They saw Huni.
So they see him for now.
Huni's doing wolves.
Alright, now he's gonna do Gromp.
And they see balls in the bot lane as well. They might square off easily. Baron in 50, Dragon in 55. Makes the Dragons carry without ward control, which right now C9 does not have at all on that Baron River. Their site stone's nearly empty. Only LemonNation has a ward at all.
C9 just trying to push Fnatic back so they can move into the Baron area themselves and clear away these pink wards just placed. So you have this fight where Fnatic is trying to avoid them moving in there, but because of Incarnation and his long-range poke, it's enough for C9 to get at least the first pink ward. But still, a very, very close battle between the teams.
Huni's sitting on 2,000 gold, which means he actually wants to base and shop. Get an item, perhaps upgrade his boots into home guards, but this does give a favorable wave here for Cloud9 on the bot lane. That's what split pushing is all about, when neither team can really make a mark or dent in the mid lane. It does become all about watching that side lane.
And there is a dent to be made in that side lane. Of course, Balls has so much armor now with a Thornmail. Huni can't really get through him, so that's an unequitable lane there. C9 get that one pushed in as well. Always something to keep in mind.
He really has to land that ulti for that armor pen, and even then, it's going to be incredibly hard.
Yeah, he's going to save it for the big team fights. Going 1v1 this late in the game has no value really for both these top laners. Balls is he has the big tank in the front line. Huni he has the assassin who wants to get the back line.
If these fights go long, Huni can get multiple ultis off. His ulti is already down to 30 seconds cooldown.
Needs to be careful though, dashing in forward, because Incarnation, again, he's always standing far up, always ready. He has a barrier as his only defense really. And then of course he trusts LemonNation to give him the black shield in case he's too far forward.
LemonNation is actually starting to out-earn YellowStar money-wise, even though Yellow's got 3 more assists there. Just a better gold generation item, honestly. Morgana gets a ton of money, and that can matter, getting your next big item in.
Yeah, mid-game, nobody waits to give you those relic stacks. That time is long, long gone.
Even fighting against his own turret, and look at that, Sneaky was able to solo the dragon. Bot lane was still pushed out, C9 controlled mid.
Both sideways pushing for C9 too. They have that turret behind them for safety. Now they're sieging mid, so they're using triple pressure on all the lanes.
Oh,
might
be
see an
careful.
engage here.
Here's the jump in. It's a 2-man ult. He catches balls. Sneaky's out. There's a turret alive, though. They gotta be careful. A big knockback, and that's the kill into Morgana. Azir goes down as well, but the dunks are coming through. A double kill for balls. A triple kill for balls. Holy cow.
C9 gonna get
Kill for balls. Holy cow. That's why he's been picking Darius. Cloud9 have 3 members alive.
And what an aggressive use of flash ulti there for Incarnation. He knew he would drop in the fight, but he would generate so much damage for resets on both Sneaky and Balls.
And it means they might win the game right now. Look at the respawn timers. 30 seconds. Would you believe it? This is a group where 3 teams could have taken first place, but it's Cloud9 who did it. The 4th that no one counted in. The 7th place North American LCS team. The Cinderella story is still alive. They are undefeated in the World Championship, and Cloud9 are 3-0.
If you told me that C9 would get a pentakill, I would say, okay, it's Incarnation or Sneaky.
But Balls.
But Balls gets it. He had a great game. It didn't fall behind early because he got that massive wave in the top lane. And then in this last team fight, Fnatic even jumped him. Huni ulted onto Balls, the big tank. But then we see the power of Darius. Once he gets rolling in those fights, he gets the first kill, second kill, third kill, fourth. And then the pentakill in the end.
C9 finally feel like a team again. In the way they play around the map, in the way they play out the game, and more importantly, in these team fights. Sneaky, he jumped in knowing he could die, but he relied on Incarnation to finish somebody off to give him the reset. Right now, Incarnation went in aggressively, possibly trading his life, but in doing so, he generates the setup for Balls to get a pentakill, and if it